All right, everyone, welcome back. This is round number 5 of December's Mox Masters. This is the final round before we cut to top 16. And then, of course, after top 16 is going to be the final pod where we will crown a champion. Before we get to that, let's talk about the players that we've been watching today. Comedian. We've seen a lot of him on camera today at 2-1-1, even with a loss, very, very live for top 16. So I expect big things out of him. We have Hire, who has dropped from this point after that loss last round. And last but not least, we have Ken, who is sitting at 2-2. We got to watch him decimate a pod with a Crater of Behemoth at the very end of the last round. So a lot of cool magic to watch, a lot more coming for you. This round, we're going to watch some decks we haven't seen as much of, a lot more like kind of turbo strategies going on in this pod. Before we do that, I want to talk about what these players are playing for today. So we're hosting a tournament. This is Mox Masters Series. This is an online webcam tournament. First place, the winner of the final pod, is going to receive $500. The rest of the final pod, second through fourth, going to receive $200 for their time. And then, of course, the rest of the top 16 that did not make it will receive $60. A little bit of double their money action. So a lot of money in the pool, especially for being able to sit at home, play some webcam cedh all day. So very excited to bring this tournament series to you. But yeah, let's go ahead and move right into the action as we have players resolving mulligans, because we got some spicy decks to talk about.
Yes, we do. I don't know if turn order is set, but I'm gonna assume turn order is set. Man, this is the ninja deck Satori. Man, I'm not even gonna attempt that one. To be real with you.
I think if you say Umezawa, I think we're good enough. Satoru
Right,
Umezawa.
Umezawa. There we go. Well, I did it. We did it. We're playing Demir Ninjas. I remember when this card got spoiled, it was immediately we were figuring out, hey, cheat in a Blind Steel Colossus or some Eldrazi for 3 mana seems dope. I don't know what happened to this list after that. I haven't seen it since then, but hey, clearly good record and he's doing a lot of stuff. So I'm love to see what happens in this game. We have Thunderfire Cole on Rog Silas going second. Rog Silas, been for the past couple of months been on the Bird app making a storm. So
I thought you were up the Bird app, Ashani.
Listen, I'm just late on the Bird app is what I am.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, so we know Turbo ad nauseum list, so we know what Rockside does. No need to introduce. Reaper on Dargo Ikra on Jund. We got the John Lobster. I would have preferred to see Corvold, but
I'm sure, yeah. The Corvold fanatic would have preferred to see Corvold more.
Correct. If we're playing Jund, we prefer to see Corvold, but I know there's some Dargo fans there, so he played earlier today. I believe it was the only ad nauseum that I saw resolve on stream today, but he did not get there. So let's see if he's a little more successful with it this game. And 1-0 is playing Rog Tavesh. We don't know what brew of Rog Tavesh this is. This could be either the Turbo Nose or newly brewed and tested by the West Coast crew, a Turbo Stacks list. I've been dabbling in it a little bit, and it's been fun. Get it to resolve.
Batman, does your Turbo Nose list play Obliterate? Or is that maybe just this Turbo Stacks deck that we're looking at here?
I mean, yeah, it's just a Turbo Stacks deck that try to resolve a Obliterate and look at your opponents after resolve and ask if they concede. That is the win condition.
Yeah, only 2 creatures in this list, Sire of Insanity, Void Widower. So we have a lot of the Divergent Transformations, Reality Scramble kind of stuff to hit one of the 2 very powerful and expensive stacks effects. But yeah, I have seen you. In fact, I've played a few pods with you in them piloting this list, and a lot of interesting cards in here that you don't see too much in cEDH. And 1-0 making a pretty deep run here with that list. So if you're a fan of Turbo anything in cEDH, I think this has got to be the pod for you, right? We're looking at Turbo Ninjas, I guess. I mean, we're turboing out big creatures. You're looking at Turbo ad nauseum in the Grixis colors, Turbo ad nauseum in the Jund colors, and then Turbo Stacks. So a lot of ritual, a lot of black fast mana among this pod, every deck containing the color black. And yeah, we're just trying to do some really expensive stuff using some really broken mana, as is the cEDH way, but very different from what we've seen all of today with just green combat damage over and over again.
Oh man, we have seen it all the way. We have seen Arcus of Valor's Reach resolved. We have seen Crater Hoof Behemoth resolve and killing the table. It's been a wild day. And I've enjoyed it. I haven't seen so much combat-centric magic in a very long time in the cEDH environment. So I'm here for it. And we're now in the top tables, and we're still seeing some fair decks. The gospel has been preached to me about this Rock Tevesh deck, and I hope it can perform on camera.
The gospel, eh?
The gospel. The gospel. It's been a few people that is saying the gospel. On the Burn app, there's been a few conversation about, Trinisphere is as good as a force of will. Well, if you're in those circles, it's been a debate. It's been a debate where, we're here to try to kill the turbo strategy, and I'm here for it. So let's see how this game goes. I don't really know who is like in a good seat position. Like going first or second is always just better.
Right.
And unbiasedly we want to say Rock side, but I think everyone here have a chance. The Rock Tevesh going last, any stacks deck sitting in last is not the best seat because people get to develop their mana before you have a turn. So I don't know how this will go, but it will be an exciting game.
I am very, very excited. Like you said, there's a lot of decks here that I don't really know. I love the food there. Very long tournament. One of the joys of this tournament is you can eat from your home and can eat whenever you want. But I love that stuff. It's only your cards that would get spilled on. But yeah, I don't really know who's even favored here. I like you bringing that up because with Rog Silas and Dargo Ikra kind of in the second position as we very quickly lead off what looks like a schematic defense grid hitting the exile zone for a Gemstone Caverns as a pregame action for the Reaper. We have like two ad nauseum decks kind of in the middling seats in 2 and 3, and the seat 1 is this Umezawa deck, right, which has a ton of huge creatures and also just a ton of interaction. So I wonder if at first seat, normally when you're in the lower seats, like 4th seat, you kind of want to mulligan to interaction, give yourself some time to develop and stop some of the players from just like stealing the game very early on. But you are a slower blue and black deck full of interaction. Like how early do you want to be holding up interaction? As I believe a 1 mana ninja is deployed. See if we can get a look. Fairy Seer is that card. A 1/1 flyer for 1 enters the battlefield. You can describe 2. Take a quick look at the top 2 cards. Will Funkalicious. But yeah, I wonder how much interaction you're supposed to reach for, knowing that the stacks player going forth just needs a turn, right? They need a turn to set up, get the stacks pieces in play to slow the game down. And then if you're the first seed, you're Funkalicious, you're trying to put big creatures in play, that gets around a lot of the stacks pieces. This ninjutsu ability.
Totally agree. And I think you want to make sure you get to that turn. So I think you want to make sure you get to turn 1, turn 2, where both of your game plans are online. So I think you need to definitely respect the first turns of these 2 decks. And see if you don't respect that, you definitely will be losing this game.
Very reasonable. Follow-up for Funkalicious was Mox Diamond, discarding a land, and we move over to Thunderfart, who very quickly plays Underground Sea, Rograk, Moonsnare Prototype, and Mana Vaults. We see this a lot of times with the Rograk Silas deck. You mentioned it's a Turbo Ad Nauseam deck full of the best and most efficient payoff that you can play in the cEDH format, Underworld Breach, Thassa's Oracle, Ad Nauseam, the whole 9. And they usually have about 1 turn of setup where they put a bunch of mana in play, and then we go from there as the Reaper untaps and plays Xantid Swarm, an ad nauseum tendrils special from the Legacy format, where I've seen that one the most. Don't see it as much here in cEDH, but one of your better kind of silence effects that you get access to in the Jund colors, I think, as LED is the follow-up. Same with Lotus Petal. Same with Jeweled Lotus. We just have all the cards, huh? All right, here we go.
And no cards in hand, player hand on turn 1. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, in the Reaper, maybe considering which, if any, I think you can play both partners here, right? Because Dargo's going to end up costing 1. Can we make the colors? So we sack. Dargo's going to cost 1. We have 5 mana. We should be able to put all these in play because all 3 of these can make a different color.
Correct.
So maybe we're talking about which one to play first. We're talking about, maybe there's a mind break trap considerations or something. But
oh no, I think you let the mind break trap go here. I think there might be
you're not interested in interacting with any of this. No. I mean, like the Reaper's handless. Like we're just put a bunch of broken artifact mana into play. And yeah, here we go. We're just gonna go ahead and deploy both commanders. And not the start that I feel like you traditionally see, right? No. Like we're talking about a turbo ad nauseum deck. Normally we're talking about playing a bunch of spells, resolving ad nauseum, trying to win the game. Here we're just like attacking.
So there could be some hopium here. You sit down at the deck and you see a Rog Tavesh and a Rog Silence, and you're hoping there might be an early turn wheel. And if you're reading maybe one for nothing for also a turbo strategy, he might get punished for it, but we'll see.
And here's Urza Saga and a Soaring and a Damping Sphere, the turn 1 play for 1-0. Have to imagine someone's gonna have something to say about this. Oh, okay, I see. We're just gonna back up a little bit. We want to get our Rog into play before the Damping Sphere. If you try to play it after, that's not going to go your way at all. 1-0 very smartly. Maybe there's a judge call.
Yeah, I don't think because we're playing Ariel, I don't think you want that to resolve. So I think they're gonna stick with how we play.
They're gonna say, hey, no, you can't put that in play quite yet, which ultimately may not matter unless something like deflecting SWAT is part of the mix for 1-0. Like the Rog is not nearly as important as the Damping Sphere is to be in play. And we'll see exactly how impactful that's going to be against our entire table. Like you mentioned, it might just be some respect from the Reaper for what's going to come out of the Turbo Stacks deck, which is living up to its name so far, as Dothy Voidwalker's added for Funkalicious. Also kind of another Stacks piece. Rog Silence deck, not out of it, but certainly going to be hard-pressed to win the game in one turn, I think, going into turn 2 as we lace the beatdowns.
So just like what you said, you want Funkalicious definitely wanted the one for that 1-0 go with an early stack piece so they can make it into the late game so they can get their game plans going. And it's working out for them so far. The Dawson definitely cuts off a lot of the graveyard strategy, which is what a lot of Grex's deck is looking for in the beginning. And it's definitely easy to go Andals into Breach versus Andals into Orca Console. You need a lot of cards to go right there. So definitely liking the progress of how this game is played out.
If you're Funkalicious, right? Like, are you concerned as 1-0, that you're going to play your game plan, you're going to play stack pieces play, and you're just going to die to some big creatures that are going to come out of Funkalicious's, ninja strategy?
I think there's a possibility you could die, but I don't think you die on the spot, right? And that's the same with Magic, where you get time. And time is everything. So if you get time to develop your side pieces, develop your board state, and then eventually find an answer for all the big things he's doing, I believe that is what you want to happen.
That's fine. I don't really.
And I think Reaper here just gonna beat down on the Rog Silence deck.
Yeah, I mean, padding your life total isn't nothing, right? Funkalicious looking to put huge creatures into play, 1-0 looking to slow the game down, being able to just get ahead in the life total race as early as possible. You mentioned that might be the strategy here, and it looks like if it is, I mean, if it's not, it doesn't really matter. It's all going to turn out very well for the Reaper on this turn cycle, as we have Dargo and Ikra looking to get into combat, get busy. Xantid Swarm also attacking. I think that one picked a target pretty much right away. Xantid Swarm notably does not work the same as Hope of Girper. If that card attacks, all it has to do is attack, does not have to connect. The defending player cannot cast spells this turn. So where Hope of Girper is like, until your next turn, this one's only this turn. So, unless there's some kind of big payoff piece the Reaper's looking to stick, the Xantid Swarm attack doesn't really matter that much. But can be very, very critical on turns where you're trying to combo. There's only one blue player or whatever. Here there's two, but so either way, it's got to get busy.
This is where I would just definitely be the Rog Silence deck. It just sucks because
sucks.
Everyone is just gonna say you are like all 7 cards in your hand is ad nauseum. Like they don't care what it is, and your life total is just gonna get pressured. And I think this is a game where you might want to sit behind the silence and try to develop, because the Death Touch will not have these big attacks coming in.
Yeah, Death Touch on Silas. Normally that card kind of made fun of for being fairly blank. Death Touch going to be pretty relevant if there's any kind of big attackers, which, right now the Reaper is laying the smackdown, even though Funkalicious is certainly the one looking to lay the big beatdowns. Of course, that comes off of evasive creatures like we see in play already. That's why we have a Fairy Seer, we have a Dothy Voidwalker. But in addition to being like relatively fine cards on their own, are very evasive attackers so that the ninjutsu ability can be online as we move to One Nothing's turn, who successfully played Rograk, Son of Roga this turn. See if there's any kind of follow-up. Might even be interested in making some constructs. This game right now is about combat, even though we talked before this match about how this is going to be a turbo pod, and now suddenly combat damage is the name of the game off the jump.
We talked about all those famous rituals and all of that, and that is not the case.
There's just no rituals, only beatdowns. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the deck, Shani. Nothing matters. cEDH is a format of attacking and blocking. There's no combos. There's no busted synergy. No. We're putting creatures into play, Shani.
Creatures sideways. And here I was told that creatures were bad in my meta. Look what is happening here today. Creatures.
I am watching the same games you are, Shani. As here comes 3 mana. Gonna go ahead and put Satoru Umezawa into play. That card, if you're not familiar, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty card. A lot of excitement around this one when it was spoiled. 2/4 legendary creature, human ninja for 3 mana. Whenever you activate a ninjutsu ability, you get to look at the top 3. Put one of them in your hand, rest at the bottom of your library in any order, and that can only trigger once per turn. And if you're going crazy with ninjutsu, it's not going to work. But for the most part, I think you'll ever get 1 per turn. And then the very relevant text of each card in your hand gets ninjutsu for 2, a blue and a black. A lot of jokes about big Eldrazi's and Blightsteel Colossuses just being ninjas. A bunch of fan art and stuff that came out of that. But we're seeing it in action here, in play. We'll see what can happen as Talisman is going to be deployed. Talisman of Indulgence deployed for Thunderbolts.
We played one of our best removals as a land. On a warrior got played for a land. Did not love to see it.
And maybe speaks to maybe a little bit of a mana issue for Thunderfarts as we're tapping some mana. Gonna cast Dockside. That one costs 3, thanks to our friend Damping Sphere, and is going to provide a fair bit of mana, I think, for Thunderfarts, but hard to be excited about it as far as casting spells this turn with 2 spells already cast under this Damping Sphere.
Mm-hmm. So I believe what makes 4? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, makes 4. Okay. That's a good start.
It's a good start indeed as we pass the turn back to the Reaper, who's done a good job laying some early pressure on Thunderfarts and, kind of pushing them to make game actions. It is an ad nauseum deck through and through. It does try to put things like ad nauseum and necropotence into play. So, just attacking for 10 every turn or whatever is going to make a very big difference across the course of the game. But at some point, the other players in this pod are going to assemble board states that are bigger than yours. So I have to imagine the Reaper gonna need to come up with a better plan than just kind of killing one player and padding the life total. And, like you said, the Reaper has a lot of time to do that. But, as much as the Reaper had a great start for this kind of slowed down game, they do eventually need to accomplish something else. Something else needs to come out of what they have going on. It can't just rely on their commanders to go the whole distance without a lot of interpod interaction that doesn't really, include you too much.
That's totally great assessment. But let's see what we're playing here.
I didn't get a great look. Oh, Dash Monkey!
That's Ragavan, okay. So I believe we go. I guess you get to advance your mana.
Yeah, just like I think building up treasures is fairly meaningful when it comes to being stuck, on relatively low mana after sacrificing all your broken mana on turn 1 to put your commanders in play. You need something to rebuild your mana, and it doesn't have to do it that quickly, right? Like Ragavan is probably going to attack for multiple times in this game unless something crazy happens in the next turn cycle, which can happen. It is cEDH. But as far as what the Reaper's looking at right now, the looks that he's getting from the rest of the table, it should be absolutely fine.
Okay, so we hit. We're putting a smack down here on the Rog to Vetch, and we hit Torpor Orb. It seems like what we hit with the Ragavan. And end step, it seems like we're making a construct.
Nobody's exiled.
Yeah, making a construct. And that does kind of show that, okay, 1-0 is like, wait a minute. Like this game looks like it's becoming about attacking and blocking very quickly. I would not mind some bigger blockers here as a 3-3 construct, if you will, is being made. We'll see if we want to make one again, response to third saga, if we're just going to make some mana.
I think
We'll take a quick look real quick.
For what it matters, that windswept heath should be under the Dolphy.
What color is?
That might matter, but let me.
As is this Urza's Saga. That one needs to be under the Dothy as well. But either way, it looks like we floated a mana off of Urza's Saga as we go searching for an artifact.
Oh, I get to tutor up.
For producer, could maybe ping a judge about the Dolphy zones would be absolutely appreciated. But
okay, yeah, we'll find something.
What could we get? We get mana here, right? Of the saga.
Yeah, I feel like you might be interested in like Jeweled Lotus Tevesh. You have some blockers now.
Second, guys, sorry.
You do have some blockers. I'm a fan of making two 0/1 throws to stop this 10 coming at you. I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
Maybe do we get a does Mana Crypt do it? You have a colorless floating 2, 4. Yeah. So you can get a Mana Crypt. I think you want more permanent mana versus a one-shot mana source here.
Okay. I think I know what I'm getting.
Yeah, you could, right? Like, because you haven't played these spells yet, so you could grab Mana Crypt, and that's going to work if you think that that's like what you're interested in. Soul Ring's already in play. Normally, that's the one you grab over Mana Crypt because Mana Crypt hurts you. Vault's probably the worst of the bunch.
Yeah.
Mox Opal.
Okay, so
selection. That just speaks to us maybe having a land to play. 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, we have 5 already, but like I don't know if we want to spend all of them. Maybe we can. Maybe we just draw cards with Rog, draw 3 cards, hit a land drop, we'll figure it all out. Yeah, okay. I don't hate Mox Opal actually, the more I think about it. Because like your constriction here is very much kind of in colored sources. Your Spire of Industry does work, but hurts to do so in a board state where damage isn't free anymore, right? Like there's a lot of attacking power going on. Your first seed player that's going to untap with their commander, it looks like, is looking to put giant creatures in play. So life total matters. Spire of Industry may not work forever, and Mox Opal is permanent, like you said. So probably a better selection than Jeweled Lotus.
You're good. The brain lag matches up with my brain lag. Okay. Yeah. I'm not. That's actually stressing me the fuck out. By the way. Okay.
All right. So let's see
this game's being streamed.
what we assemble. We're thinking Tevesh because that's what's face up. That's in the command zone, but it's not really accounting for any cards in hand, as it looks like 1-0 is picking up their hand. Maybe looking to cast a spell. Scramble.
Oh, Reality Scramble.
Reality Scramble. Yeah. Okay, that's probably more impactful than Tevesh here by a fair bit. And Fierce Guardianship going to come down for Thunder Farts. Not interested in playing against Spire, the Sire of Insanity or Void Widower, the 2 options to cascade into, if you will. I don't know if it's actually called cascading. Polymorph. That's the term. Polymorph into for the Rog side deck. Oh my God, Rog Tevesh. Too many Rogs. Too many Rogs. Rog Tevesh. Not going to Reality Scramble.
Man, I don't know if I like. I don't know if I like that. The Fierce is definitely correct, but I guess forcing him to have an answer there with 3 cards in hand wasn't the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is, like you said, Rogsai
you guys know
already kind of shut down, hasn't really done anything all game.
Putting that out there. Okay.
Funkalicious probably doesn't actually care, as I think we drew and pretty quickly went to combat. The Reaper has like no interaction, so basically it's only on the Rog side deck to produce interaction, and they did, so you got a little punished for it. But I don't know how much I hate going for it. It's not like you're in the Shadow Realm now, right? Like you're gonna be able to untap with 4 mana next turn. You hit a mana source, you get Tevesh going if nothing else, not including anything in hand. So it's not like you're just destroyed. But yeah, it might have been one of the better pieces of
Okay,
proactivity
will-
that 1-0 had going on in their hand.
You know what?
Here comes a ninjutsu.
What
Here
are we
comes a
putting into play?
ninjutsu. What do we got?
For a Phyrexian Metamorph.
What is that?
Phyrexian
Phyrexian
Metamorph.
Metamorph. Gonna make a
One
copy
attack
of something.
before
Oh, that's a
Totoro
dark
has
side.
to resolve before.
Yeah, well,
we
yeah, looks like
pick-
we have a Umezawa trigger,
I'll
but the
pass on
card does
result.
have to actually pick a clone before the trigger resolves. So we're
this
gonna
in hand.
Yeah, we have
go
to
ahead,
This is gonna come in as dock.
right? Or does the act? Is it just
You have
activation?
You have 7 off of me, probably.
Okay, it's a dockside extortionist.
I'm gonna
Actually, I do think the trigger resolves first. So yeah, dockside extortionist
Yeah,
is the
Yeah, you
copy.
got 7 off.
The current count is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not including the treasures.
Can he do this multiple times? Or is this once per turn?
Okay.
No, the activation is
yeah.
once
He
per
can do the
turn.
ninjutsu thing multiple times.
Oh.
Yeah,
Are they
yeah, we
those-
can do another one here, but we're not going
Are
to get the
we-
Umezawa trigger, as we are going to do another one here. Don the Voidwalker coming back. Let's see what's going on. Sakashima the
Sakashima.
imposter clones.
Make it
Clones.
dockside.
I'll get 11 more.
Need so much mana.
What is happening? Just docksides everywhere.
Yeah.
I will.
So
Oh
can
my
we just do?
Tab 4.
Do we make enough mana to just go back and forth, right?
We'll go down to.
What do you mean by
Yes,
back and forth?
You pick this up for 4.
So
Great Whale.
Oh what?
Oh boy, oh great whale. All right, let's get the text on this one. I think this one untaps lands. Yeah, it untaps 7 lands on ETB. Okay. Yeah.
Bringing this back and forth. I will have.
Sure.
Sakashima
Pick
come
it
in
up.
as
Pick
well.
Yeah,
that up.
because so you pay 4 mana to activate ninjas. So you
And
pick
then
up the
begin
copies of
flipping
dark
in
side,
and
pick
out
it up because
like
it makes
this.
6, and you
Okay,
keep
where
doing
I
this
have
to go
infinite
infinite.
mana, and then I can flip.
So you get
Sakashima
infinite mana,
Yes.
infinite
to
on tap.
Totoro,
But
and
what
receive
and
a
then what
new
do you
ninjutsu
put it
trigger, so I get to
into?
draw again.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, yeah,
That's-
it looks like
So
we're
I
trying to
find
explain that we have infinite
Cauldron
mana via
Familiar,
ninjutsus,
or
which,
a
by the
1000
way, is
mana,
awesome.
and that will-
I've never seen this before in my life. This is extremely cool. Yeah. So yeah, we can cycle through dock sides here
If you don't have
over
we-
and over again.
Yeah, so we cycle meta.
just have
So
to kill
yeah, for the
the-
child, we
the skills, I
cycle
think.
Metamorph into Sakashima, Sakashima into Great Whale, and because it's making 6, we always go positive, so we can keep doing it. We're not casting any spells, so David is fair doesn't trigger. So he just has infinite mana.
Or like
I
I will
think
get to do 3
show
cards
it
at a
for
time
stream.
every time.
Yeah, show it for stream.
Okay,
Show it for
So I'll start doing that where this comes in.
Okay,
So
so
Sakashima, yeah, okay, all right, yeah. Sakashima is going to begin to clone. So every time we go through this loop, we're gonna make infinite mana, and then we're gonna start to clone Sakashima each. Or, I'm sorry, not Sakashima. Sakashima is going to clone Satoru Umezawa, and because it's a new instance of Umezawa, you're going to do another ninjutsu and then be able to look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, rest of the bottom in the order. It says it only triggers once each turn, but that's per instance of it, right? So I think Funkalicious actually just gets to go through the whole deck here.
yeah,
And I think we're revealing this Cauldron Familiar. We've explained that I'm going to be able to ninjutsu this Cauldron Familiar infinitely until the whole table dies, and that's going to kill the table here on turn number 3. Out of this deck that we expect to just put huge creatures in play, it's just going to combo off with clones.
That's why I did not want.
oh my
I had
goodness.
Metamorph, I had Silver.
That was a cool win
Yeah, no,
with
I
a
was-
bunch of
I wasn't
interaction in
gonna- I
hand.
was not gonna wheel.
Yeah,
That
the
was
team
cool.
is picking it up. Yeah, I mean, the deck's all interaction and like creatures, and that's just going to do it. Wow.
Funkalicious with some funk. Here we go. That
What
was
a
great.
CDH.
That was great. How come you blinked
I
and
just
you
want to see some
missed?
Agnostics and Bosses Oracles. No, we're out here
I was
cloning
gonna just
ninjutsu. Who knows, man? Who knows?
And we did that's some Yuriko stuff right there. Yuriko, when you play dark side with a Yuriko in play or Yuriko style deck, you can just die because that's how that works. Great
All right.
whale, guys.
I mean,
Ladies and gentlemen, a great
a
whale.
W is a W. So spice, heart spice, I think is what that says.
Nice.
That's yeah, no kidding. And spice it is indeed. Well, yeah, that's gonna do it for this first pod here in round number 5. Now that was a turn 3 kill, in case you were keeping track from Funkalicious. So yeah, we're gonna try to find more magic for you. Before we do that, we're going to go ahead and cut to a break real quickly so we can find another pod for y'all to watch more Magic. This is the last round of Swiss. Once again, after this, we'll have a cut to top 16 and then the finals pod. We got a ton more stuff, more Magic, and a little bit of a surprise later on. So stay with us. We're going to find you more Magic to watch in round number 5. And yeah, thank you all for watching.